don't even know the joy that I felt in that moment. Like, you sorry little twerp, that's what you get. You know what I mean? I was so happy in that moment. Hello Bookish Babes and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so very glad that you clicked on this video to join me in bringing you my reading vlog on the Hunger Games. Now, I am literally probably the only person out there who has never read or watched the movies. I don't know anything about them. I couldn't even tell you. I know the main character, I think her name is Katniss Everdeen, and then I think it's like a dystopian, maybe end of the world fantasy type thing, you know what I mean? That's about it. I don't know where I was or what planet I might have been on at age 15, 16. I really don't know, because that's when this came out and it's kind of crazy. So I think it's about time I read it. I picked up this series. I have the full set of the 3 books like a few weeks ago at the Browns Family Bookstore in my area, and so it was just really nice to get a used copy set for $6. And so I told you guys about it, and literally everyone ranted and raved, and even requested that I do a reading vlog throughout each of the books, and then I guess a general summary at the end to just kind of let you know my thought process as I go through them. So this is basically going to be a reaction video, a talking video, me reading through books, letting you know how I feel, and just like vloggy vlog. You know, I might do some other stuff within this as well, but I'm super excited. I have my bookmark, which I feel is extremely fitting for this book. As you can see, I think it just goes hand in literal hand. And then I have my tabs that I'm going to be using here, and I'll let you know the color breakdown. So we have peach for any happy or just funny moments. I'm assuming there might be some here and there sprinkled throughout this series. So peach will be for happy moments and funny things. Green, my favorite color, literally my favorite shade of green, is going to be for my favorite moments. So any favorite scenes, favorite lines, anything like that's going to be tapped in green. Then we have purple here, which is going to be for any OMG, tragic, why the heck did that happen? Suzanne, is that her name? Suzanne Collins, why did you do that? Like one of those moments. Then we have the light blue, obviously for like sad, emotional moments where I'm just like, oh no, why did this have to happen? I'm really sad. Then dark blue for any talking points, anything that I find that might be super valuable and important to just like make mention of, possibly for book number 2, 3, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so I have my little tabbies here. I got my bookmark. And then yeah, I guess I'm just gonna dive in. I'll read the back of it before I start reading, just so that I can like know a little bit, but for the most part that's going to be this video. And so I hope that you guys enjoy, and let's watch Olivia read the Hunger Games for the very first time. Starts out as it did. I feel like most books try to lead you into what's currently happening or gives you a background and then lets you know, but this book just dives directly in on reaping day. Like it just dives into what's happening, point blank period. There's no way to think it's anything of rather than what it is, and I really like that as well. And I think the tone that Katniss has at the beginning of the book really just shapes it for you. It lets you see that she has dread, that this is terrifying for her, but at the same time, she wouldn't change it because she's not going to put her sister in a position that is going to put her in danger. Obviously, she, you know, could be taken on Reaping Day as well, but it's like you can see the selflessness that Katniss has, and I really love that. so I just wanted to hop in here really quick and give a little bit of an update. It is the next day now, and I am getting ready to head out and do more reading, obviously, in the Hunger Games here. I'm currently on page 64, or 65 technically. Yeah, 65. I really like this. Okay, so basically the part of the book that I'm at now, whatever, it's gonna be time for Christmas decorations soon anyways. But the part of the book that I'm at so far now is where Katniss obviously has petitioned, rather, or volunteered herself as tribute to take her sister Prim's place. And so Katniss, I think Peeta is the guy who is like the tribute, got picked, and they ended up on the train, and they're kind of traveling their way to the Capitol. And now they've just arrived at the Capitol, and they are getting themselves all kind of done up by, you know, the stylist that they have. And Katniss has Cena, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, as her stylist. But what I really liked, or rather what I found to be really intriguing, and I wonder is that going to kind of lead me into anything later on in the book, but it looks like he purposefully wanted District 12 to be his responsibility. Like he personally signed up to be the stylist for District 12. So it makes me wonder, you know, is there some reason behind him doing that? But this is really good. Like I said towards the beginning when I gave an update, is that I definitely feel like Katniss is going to be a main character that I love, just like Selena from the Throne of Glass. I feel like she is a selfless person who is willing to put herself technically in almost like harm's danger in really difficult positions, and she clearly has a heart for so many people, and she cares because she knows that, or rather because she loves, and she loves hard, and she'd rather herself be put in a position that's difficult rather than a family member or a friend or someone in her life. And so I just really love that about her. This is a very easy book to read. I'm definitely invested in it. I found a really great playlist. So once I finish this vlog here, I'll link it down below. If you guys want to reread it, or if you've never read it like myself, then you can listen to that playlist if you'd want to. Really loved how when she kind of sacrificed herself and to become the tribute, how everyone silently gave her that little gesture that we love you, we support you, and we hope for you to succeed. You know, our hearts go out to you. And I just thought that was just so nice. It's the silence of it. And I think silence can speak volumes, even like how Peeta's dad gave Katniss the bag of cookies as his way of saying goodbye to her, letting her know, like, I will take care of your little sister. Like, I hope it goes well. Obviously, yes, my son too, but like, he's a man of few words, but his way to show that he cares is through that. So I think of Mage, like maybe her way of showing how she cares. She didn't really know what to say. They didn't really talk, but they were kind of close, was to give her the pin. The way Peeta's dad, the baker, was able to do it was to give her some cookies. And the way the community was able to do it, they're all going through a lot, and relieve that their children are picked, is to really give her that silent gesture. And I just think that just speaks so volumes. And so I just really love that. And so I'm going to continue to read this. I'm going to head to Barnes & Noble to see if I can find the last book in this series, grab a coffee, and then maybe go to my local library, because I honestly have not been to a library since I started this BookTube channel, and that is an utter shame. I don't even remember the last time I've been to one. Thank you. Kaale.
Why?
So I've secured the Starbucks. I got a English breakfast tea latte. I have been obsessed with English breakfast lately. I always thought it would taste nasty, and then I tried and I was like, she was wrong. And then, as you saw the little footage of Barnes & Noble, we picked up the 4th book in the Hunger Games series. So I'm gonna head to the library now and read.
into the scene he described by creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
So shocked that I have never like done this before. I have a library card. Let me show you. It's literally so cute. Look at my library card. Look how cute my library card. Are you kidding me, you guys? It's freaking adorable. So I have a library card now. She's a library card girly. But as you saw, I went to Barnes & Noble before this, and I was able to snag my copy of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is, I believe, the 4th book, I guess, in the Hunger Games little series here. But I'm super glad that I was able to pick it up, and I was able to get this maroon color because they had the green cover, but only in hardcover, and I just didn't feel like paying $27 for the hardcover, as well as like I don't want one hardcover and the rest paperback, so I thought why not just keep the trend kind of going. Then obviously I have my handy dandy book number 1. We're gonna start reading it, and then this library has an ongoing book sale all year round, and so the hardcovers are $1, paperback are 50 cents, and then in terms of the realizes this is a library and there's going to be other people walking around too, so I can't be awkward, just kind of do my own thing. But anyways, there is going to be, yeah, the book sale is all year round, and then they have this like little special one that they kind of have out where they're just pricing books kind of as what they want them. So I was able to snag a copy of The Night Ship by Jess Kidd, and first of all, it's just super cute. I love the painted edges, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, this has been sitting in my TBR on Goodreads for a while now, so I wanted to just snag a copy. It was only $4. It's brand new. I think this came out last year, and I don't know absolutely anything about it, but basically I was just excited to see that they had a book sale going, and so I wanted to buy a book, so I picked this one up. But yeah, I'm gonna dive into my reading now, and then I'm gonna also set up my Libby account, because I realized once you have a library card, Libby, you can listen to audiobooks. Are you kidding me? Like, how am I just now knowing all of this? So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna eat my lunch. If you guys also saw, I went to Beyond Juicery, and I ended up getting myself the rustic maple bacon chicken salad, and I added quinoa to it, and so she looks quite colorful and really pretty and tasty. So we're going to eat that, and I'm gonna read, and I will catch up and update with you guys in a little bit.
Why?
Reading through this, one thing that I know for certain already is that it seems so crazy that everyone else, like those who are in the Capitol, take this event, which is tragic, and make it out to be this extravagant thing, almost like Harry Potter and the Quidditch World Cup. Like, they're making this as if it's the Quidditch World Cup, and it's clearly not, and I just think that's so crazy. But it is interesting to see how Cena and Portia, I believe that's who he's like in a relationship with, I think the two stylists, it's very interesting to see the word choices that he's using, and it almost makes me believe that could he be an advocate to Katniss throughout the book. Even like the relationship between her and Peeta, I mean, obviously they're gonna have to fight to the death against one another, but it almost makes me feel like, are they gonna form a connection? Like, are they gonna try to stick through it together and hopefully like come out the top together as a team? But I don't know, I'm just digging it so far, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But I do find a lot of these little things very interesting, and the fact that the majority or literally all of the participants are adolescents. I mean, children, you know what I mean? So it's very interesting to me.
Usually it's something that
Okay, so I am on part 2, as you can see. Yeah, we're gonna stick my little bookmark in there. We're getting through it, guys. We're getting through it. But I'm gonna leave the library now. But oh my gosh, so apparently PETA has a thing for Katniss. And I mean, I'm all for it. I think it's super cute. But literally, she's just everything. I don't know. I'm just really loving this. I just love the story. And then, obviously, the way that they're describing everyone in the Capitol is very much, like, comical and almost giving me, like, Mad Hatter vibes, like Alice in Wonderland, just from reading it. And so I looked online, and actually, that's what they literally look like. And I think that's really cool that... but I do think it's really interesting that they actually look like that, especially just with the plain Jane normalcy that everyone else looks like who are in the district. So I think that's really cool. But I'm gonna head off now. I was thinking of going to Bath and Body Works because I have a couple coupons. So I think I want to go get maybe a candle or like a body spray or something. And then, I don't know, I'll just take you guys along for the rest of this little vloggy vlog.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he described by creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
Alright, so sorry that the lighting sucks, but it's late and that's all we got here. But are you kidding me? Not me thinking that PETA was confessing actual love for Katniss. It was all a show. That, what is his name? Haymitch, or whatever his name is. He's really getting on my nerves, that drunk. He really is. He's getting on my last nerves, and I can understand why Katniss cannot stand the man. I was out here feeling like, oh my God, he just professed his love on TV. And it was staged. And then honestly, this whole thing of Katniss not being super desirable or not being like lovable, I'm not gathering that from her. I guess, you know, watching the movie, I can probably see what they're getting at here, but just from reading it, she seems awesome to me. Not me being totally shocked. I really love this book, okay? That's all I have to say. I really love this book. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, but I was seriously thinking she killed Cove in that moment. In that moment on page number 284. Not my heart racing. Oh God, I was like, yes, she did it. It made me so happy because that means they'd only have one person in their team. I think they're team 1 or 2. And the other 2 people who are by themselves, then her and PETA. Whew. My heart is racing. And happy Sunday morning. I am literally less than like 70 pages done. I'm like, this is, you guys. I don't even know what to say.
By creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
Wait, what? What? Oh God, what the heck? What? Okay, let me read you this line because this was the cutest. It says, I swallow hard to get the words out. You don't have much competition anywhere. What the heck? My heart. Oh my gosh. I'm literally like, I cannot. I love this. This was such a good idea. Thank you for everyone in the comments who was like, Olivia, read this book. You won't regret it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, I finished it. Wow, I'm really proud of myself. First of all, because it's a fantasy book, and I feel like fantasies take usually a little longer for me, and this was like a day and a half, and so I'm really proud about that. But I love this. Clearly, I gave it a 5-star, and I completely understand what all the hype is about. But this is just, I don't know, unbelievable. I tabbed it quite a lot, as you can see. Just to kind of go over some random bits and bobs, I guess through the book, I'll find some little places I want to talk to you guys about, but I really love this. And I'm not going to lie. I was right from the beginning when I made those assumptions that Katniss is a character that you just have to love. She is completely selfless, and she definitely is a person who also thinks of the bigger picture. She is someone who will go the extra mile, doesn't worry about putting herself in harm's danger if it's to protect somebody else. And I just absolutely love that about her. I love the slight little romance of that was happening in the book. It wasn't so much. And what I can say, this is probably my favorite YA, I'm assuming fantasy, that I've ever read, because in the terms of like the book isn't so heavily focused on like the looks of people and like he's super cute or he's like this, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like Throne of Glass or like the Ash Princess or like, you know, what do you call it? The Cruel Prince, where it's like, it's very much talked about of how attractive someone is and how they look and who's with who and who likes who. And I just like that this book, yes, it had the romance in it, obviously between Peeta and Katniss, and even between like Gale and Katniss possibly. I really do love that it was almost a sense of survival, but you also see that real feelings were formed. And so I just really like that it was subtle, but enough to add to the story. It didn't take away. I was so interested in the story. It broke my heart to see little Rue, but I just saw how amazing she was and how crucial she was, and Katniss being able to survive as long as she did. And so she's definitely one of my favorite characters. That was really sad to see her go through that. Even Thresh, I just really liked the way that he let Katniss go. I mean, so although I think you only really know about him that one part in the book, he's freaking awesome too, you know. And even Fox, what is her name? Foxlink? Oh boy, I don't even think I'm gonna find her name. Yeah, Foxface. Even her, I think she was just stealthy. I really loved how she came at moments that no one really knew. She was kind of in the dark, hidden, and really just stayed alive very late in the game had she not made that little decision with eating those berries. But it's like, those characters, the way that the author wrote them, they all have a personality that you're able to pick up on and fall in love with, even though they're not characters that are featured as the main character in this book. And so I just really like that. Some other parts that I thought were super funny is the fact that Kato, whatever, ran out to like attack them in like a full suit of armor, I think they were saying. And I'm just thinking, your sponsors are just full of it. Use your actual strength. Grab a knife, you know what I mean? Wrestle somebody to death, like in the beginning that Peeta said. Like, do something. So I thought that was super funny, the fact that he had the armor, and I thought that was really interesting. I really can say that Haymitch in this book, towards the beginning, he was really annoying. You know, he's a drunk and all of that. But as you learn in the way Katniss kind of understands it, is that he probably was that way just dealing with the trauma of like having people from your district that now you have to train that could possibly die. And so I really sympathized with him in that moment. But not only that, it's like, I really learned to just like his character. And I saw just by the way the gifts that he gave, and just like that moment when Katniss was talking about how she needed water and she's hoping that he would understand, but he withheld it from her because he knew she was almost there. And for me, that resonated in my personal life. When I just think of things in my life, like you can be at your last rope, and you're like, maybe you're praying about it, or you're asking for help, or you're asking for someone to assist you. And like I say in my life, like you can be hoping for something, praying for something, really needing something, and it's like being held away from you. But then before you know it, you're right there. It was right there all along. You just needed to wait a little bit longer. And so for me, that stood out and spoke extreme volumes to his character, although maybe it was more in Katniss's head. But like, even at the end, like when he congratulated her and she ran into his arms when she saw them, like it was so special, and it just really made me appreciate his character so much more. But no, I think this was really amazing. I love the little witty love moments that Katniss and Peeta had. I could definitely tell by the way that he's talking that he's actually developed some serious feelings for her. So knowing that at the end of the book, they end going back to the district, I want to know how that relationship kind of evolves or what kind of happens with it. And then also the fact that there's another book, I don't really know what to base it off of. It does definitely leave on a cliffhanger. They show up at the district and you're just like, okay, something's gonna go down. But at the same time, it feels as though it's ended. So I really can't say what book number 2 would be. Obviously I'm gonna read it, but like from just my observation of going through this book and the way that Haymitch was kind of like, you're in grave danger, the Capitol's really upset that you kind of outwitted them, with both of you guys trying to end your life by eating the berries to kind of get at one over them. And so with that, I was a little bit worried because that made me think, okay, maybe something's gonna happen at the end of the book, but it didn't. And so now going into book 2, in my head, I almost think either they're going to be drafted again and it's gonna be just, they're gonna be picked, or maybe they pick the strongest out of each district to do it, or there's gonna be another reaping and she volunteers again. I have no clue really what's gonna happen, because I feel like the way Gale was talked about so much in book 1 almost makes me believe he's gonna have a stronger role in book number 2. You know, obviously Peeta and Katniss, I feel like will continue as main characters. I don't know. So it's very interesting that I'm kind of left with not knowing what Catching Fire is going to be about. I believe that's book 2. I have no clue what it'll be about, you know? But I really like this. This is a 5-star read for me. This was my favorite. I don't want to say my favorite fantasy series because I haven't finished it yet, because I've read others fantasy books that I like. But what I can say, this was just like my favorite experience reading a fantasy book. It was something that I wanted to finish. Yes, it was some thrilling parts that were really intense, but it was so just, I loved it. Everything about it, I just loved it. And so I had to finish it. Like there's been parts in other fantasy series where you're just like, or books, and you're like, I need to take a break. This is a lot. Or I really don't want to read this. I'm super upset that this is happening. Even just like the tragic things that were happening in this book, it's like, it worked, and I was so happy. Like the moment that Thresh bashed Clove's head, you don't even know the joy that I felt in that moment. Like, you sorry little twerp, that's what you get. You know what I mean? I was so happy in that moment. The moment that like Rue was found in the tree and they became her and Katniss became allies. Just like all of those things. The moment the medicine fell from the sky to help her with her burns, like everything about it was great. Even though you saw Katniss go through so many things, this was freaking amazing. I absolutely love the fact that Peeta even mentioned his dad really loving Katniss's mom. I thought that was just a really pretty moment. Not sure if it was true, if he was just adding to it, but I really liked it. I just think the one thing I think I feel sad about is the fact that I think what Peeta was saying was real. And I think part of Katniss felt it, but I think once she began to feel that for him, she realized that she felt those similar things to Gale, but just never acted on them. And so I wonder how that's going to go in book number 2. But I really like this. I'm so glad that you guys recommended it to me. I'm so glad that I was able to pick it up. And I really do hope that you liked my little book review, my little reading vlog on The Hunger Games book number 1. This was awesome. Like, I'm super excited. I can't wait to like make a little reading journal page for this. But no, this was really great, and I hope that you enjoyed this little video and all the little stuff I did. And if you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up and hit your notification bell. Then every time I post, you'll be notified. And subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Bookish fam, because honestly, we're so nice. We have a lot of fun together. We give great book recommendations, and it's just amazing. And then also, just remember, I'm sending you all the bookish vibes today so that you can read books that bring you joy and happiness. And without further ado, I'll catch you all in my very next video.